Welcome to the Drive Network. I am your host, Big Bucks. Today we're joined by a man whose unwavering dedication has not gone unnoticed, a man who started from the boot of his car, a man who's responsible for over 300 jobs around Southern Africa. Mm-hmm. How are you? How are you, my brother Thobo?
Bro, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
It's been coming. And I'm glad we actually made time for this. You know, I think Before I do anything, I just want to get to understand who and what in your environment influenced the man before me today.
Yeah, and as we spoke just off air now, that God, man, you know, it can't be anything but God. You
Absolutely.
know, fully devoted Christian, been raised up in Christian principles, and most importantly, just the family, you know, the family. There's so much that goes behind having me here with you, talking about this, you know, young people we are employing, this education that we are making a difference in. You know, it can only be God, it can only be family.
Absolutely. And we spoke about it just before we started. Next door, they could sell body ice, you know?
Yeah.
And you say, say the ice. But funny enough, the ice are the
the presence of God, my man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think most of the people are then checking, where does the seed to start a business germinate from, you know? And how did you ever think, you'll be building an empire spreading across Southern Africa?
Never. Never. You know, like, for me, to be honest with you, it's something I stumbled upon. In the sense that I went to university. I was actually a top achiever at high school, so I skipped a grade. My high
Listen
school
to that.
got me to skip a grade, and I was the 8th best in school. So you know, the bigger ones,
Yes.
1 year older, and I got number 8 in the school. I came to study at the University of Pretoria Actuarial Science. And then I did really bad. So bad that I was actually sent back home to say, Wena, we don't want you here. You are playing. And then just by God's grace, man, one of the HODs by the department was just like, let me just register you for first year and second year modules. Don't play.
Go for it.
You know that don't play. Even right now I can hear it clearly, because that's where the turnaround came in my life. I got a job at the University Tutoring, and obviously I did well in economics and I graduated. Then I went back home, looked for a job, unemployment. And then I just thought, let me just start my own business. And it just grew organically. Like you say, from the boot of my car. That was my office, you know. That's why I kept all my textbooks. If a student wants me to go and tutor, I just take the book from the boot of my car. All my promotional material was there, the flyers, the brochures, you know. So that is how it started.
Wow, man. And just take me through the growing up part. And we mentioned God a lot, right? But how's the family background like as you grow up, and where do you grow up?
Yeah, I grew up in Gaborone,
Botswana.
And man, I was privileged. I don't have a sad story to tell. You know, both parents are still together, my mom and dad, and I think that really set the foundation of what you see today, you know. And it would be a case for me to move away from what I've been brought up with, you know, Christian family. Sunday, we go to church. Whether you are sick, whether you are what, you know, it was just standard like that. And so really, my duty to pay to the community is to show people that it's possible, you know, this institution of lelapa, you know, mama le papa being there. These are the results that you actually get to see having both parents. I didn't lack, you know, a mother's love or the father's discipline. You know, I had both of that. And the only thing I can do is to show that to my community and raise my children also the same way, the same template. How to change it?
Plagiarism. And you know what? I can't help but notice the color lion. You know, they the color Botswana.
Yes, yeah.
and I think maybe it's key to mention Hore Thobo Khathola has made Botswana very proud. The guys are saying Tobago.
Tobago, yeah, man. That's our guy, man. You know, it's really nice to be proud of our nation and the African continent, you know.
Absolutely.
These borders were placed by the colonial era, you know. We are brothers, man. We speak the same language. We look alike. And I've been to countries like Senegal, you know, East Africa, West Africa, Senegal, East Africa, Kenya.
Yeah.
These people are like us, man. You know, the same Ubuntu, Boto, you know, the same institution. Hella, you can tell, man, these borders, man, they were just placed there, you know.
But we are one.
We are one people.
And I wanna take you back a bit. I want you to take me through your feelings when you are now making Forbes 30 under 30. Yeah. More so, you even get a bonus and make the cover. How does that feel? Take me back.
Man, that was a little moment for me because before that, we've never seen a Motswana get onto the cover. The last person that got onto the cover, I think 3 years before us, was a Zimbabwean gentleman that stays in Botswana. So that is our reference point. But we've never seen Motswana. Never mind being on the list, but on the cover. So that was a really proud moment for my country. And, you know, I can give the credit to just the staff, you know, those 300 young people that are working with us, you know, man, they're the ones who really need all of that, you know, accolade. You know, I'm just the guy in front, you know, but there's so much people that are doing a lot for me to even be here.
And you know what? Pure leadership. You're not just the guy in front. You need to lead properly for these guys to really align to your vision and bring it to where it is. But I also want to gauge into your mind, Jorge, when you started getting a chance to work with your mentor. This is Vusathemba Kwayo, by the way. Solid man, I follow the man. How did this help you expand your business acumen and your personal knowledge of self?
Well, I met, Vusi, the first time I was exposed was that show, Dragon's Den.
Correct.
So I watched it, Kiliko Botswana. So immediately I was like, man, this is the right person to really follow. And a couple of years later, I got into the mentorship program, and I've had one-on-ones with him where he's like, man, you know, you can change this way, you can change this. And it really works, you know. It's really good to hear how somebody in this part of the world can be able to do so much in terms of business, mentorship, you know. So I'm really privileged to be in his circle as his mentee, and I just hope that I make him proud.
No, I'm sure he's proud, man. I'm sure he's proud with the work that you've been doing. And I just want you to take me into your space from a Lion perspective, Lion Tutoring. What is it? What's different about it, and what does it do for the learners?
Yeah, so why Lion?
Yes, why?
Even the parents when they come, why Lion? Why Tau? You know, like it's for me, it's sereto sa rona. It's our animal, you know. Get ready Tau.
Yeah,
that is us. But you know, just the characteristics or traits of a lion, the excellence, the leadership, the pride, you know, once you watch National Geographic, you'll see that there's a lot that we can learn from just the instincts that God has given us, you know, and we try to nurture that into students to say, you can be number one, you can aim for number one, and you can actually achieve number one, you know, whether you're on the soccer field, whether you are playing basketball, whether in your academics, which is really what we do, but we really try to get our students to be excellent in everything that they do, because once you can foster that, you have, you know, less social ills, like whenever, you know, kids nowadays, we can see even young kids vaping in the malls, you know, 12-year-olds, man, 10-year-olds, you know, all of those social ills. It's just that we don't foster, you know, that excellence for them to have something to do, to go and play sport and want to be the best, to go into academics, want to be the best, to even just aspire to go to university, and what course do you want to study? Ask these kids, what course do you want to study? They don't know anything.
Yeah.
Why? Because there's no excellence, there's no pride, there's no ambition.
Absolutely. And I think I like that, because there's kids that grow up kokasi, and you ask them, what do you want to be? And they've got access of Wi-Fi, they've got access of internet. They don't know. But if you take it back to our time, you will know, I want to be a doctor, I want to be this. But nonetheless, it is what is happening. And I think that the name Lion for me is key. It takes me back to a situation where I was previously doing financial literacy. And what you learn from a lion as well is that you'll see when the food comes, the lion will eat ahead of the pack and make sure that the food is safe, and then the rest can eat. But what that used to translate into from a financial literacy perspective is that you first pay yourself, save your money first, and then eat later. But I digress. That's
a good one. That's how actually, Lerona, we run our accounts. Many businesses have went out of business. Young entrepreneurs our age, they get all of this money and they think it's profit. They put the money in the pocket, but they don't know you are supposed to pay yourself your salary, and the rest has to go into the business. It's not your money.
Yes.
So most of the time, I'll tell you the time I made 1 million pula, which is equivalent to 1.2 million rands.
Absolutely.
Man, that was like, what? All of this money, but nothing came to me to say that is my money. You are a custodian. God has given you these financial resources to pay other people. I'd rather pay my employees, landlords, etc., and have nothing. Because me and my wife, we're just the modest people. We're not the fleshy kind. And hopefully one day it will pay back. But in the short run, we have obligations to pay. We are custodians of these financial resources.
Wow, man, that's powerful, because not every businessman, especially your age, think like that. Because once the money comes in, we're thinking Range Rover.
The time will come, but not now.
Not now. It's the timing for me that's very key, and I think I will tap into that timing in my next question. But for now, I'm thinking, Jorge, you do a lot of work with a few organizations in Dubai. You travel there a lot, and surely this has opened you up to a few beautiful cars that you might have driven, hired, or bought. So for me, which car, maybe going into Dubai first, has really spoken to you, and why?
Yo, in Dubai, man, like these cars that we esteem, it's nothing there. It's nothing. The last conference I was in, it was the World Government Summit, and the prince, the UAE prince, was there, and like the plate number costs way more than the car. And that was plate number 1. There was 1, there was 2, there was 4 and 6. Those plate numbers, just go on Google now and find out how much they cost on G-Wagons. So I was like, that side, life is different. Huh? I'm really, I would want to get a G-Wagon soon.
But when you were there, did you get to drive anything nice?
Yeah, well, I had a driver. So there was
listen to this man.
But there was the Range Rover, the Vela, that Range Rover. I'm not really sure of the model, but it was the 2022 model. I was chauffeured around with that. So, man, that was so amazing.
I want to go in.
Check my
and check the number plate.
Just check how much number plate 1 in the UAE costs. You'll see it costs way more than the car.
A number plate 1.
You'll see on that side is a different life, huh?
And you say it costs more than, I've seen something like that. I think it shows me one in South Africa now, in the UAE. I think while we wait for that, let's see. You can also tell me the cost there.
Yeah, man, it's a lot, because they use dirhams. The dirham, I think it's 5 times the pula.
5, yeah. Is it not 3?
5 times the pula.
Oh yeah, then it's more than the rent. So
way more than the rent.
so I think a lot of young people look at you and say Lion Tutoring is doing what they're doing, but they also say, what does a man who's listed in the top 30 most influential youth in Africa drive?
I'll never tell you. I drive a Ford Ranger.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's really functional. So, I really drive a buggy. You've seen that voice note. So I drive a Ford Ranger, and it's really functional for me because I help out if there's like events and everything, and also my kids, the daughters, they like van.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can put a pool in the back, and we just enjoy summer, and so that's who I am. Yeah.
No, that's great. And would you say, for me, I always want to tap into your mind in understanding what is it that you've applied when you wanted to choose the specific car. What's the process? Because you're a business guy.
Yeah.
So from a financial literacy perspective as well, what were you thinking of when you thought of this Ford Ranger?
Well, the first thing was, what can I afford? And what, you look at service, you look at consumption and all of that. I could have afforded a better car, but I looked at, I would rather put that money into something that is going to increase my top line,
Yes.
Even right now, I always get a call from the Ford dealership there. Hey, man, I can't get the latest one. I'm like, the one I have is fine. I don't need to, unless if, of course, I feel that I need to upgrade. But even just my family, my wife and I, we're not really flashy kind of people.
Correct.
She's not the type to want the Louis Vuittons and I'll buy that for her as a gift, but we wouldn't be tormented if we don't.
Absolutely.
Because we've been at a point where we were really low financially. There's a time, man, that there was like, I think a year into our marriage.
Yeah.
Yikes. 2-minute noodles,
My
baked beans. Correct. It's like I was reliving university days.
Correct.
But now there's this person, and I used to feel so bad to say, man, what am I going to feed my wife, man? She's left the comfort of her family and
Correct.
provision and, but she was, like, we had the best time.
Yeah.
We used to just sit down. If the power cuts, we sit down, we braai, we watch the stars. She used to just make it seem so normal. And, right now with all the financial privileges that we have,
Correct.
We are never really swayed off to say we didn't have, now we want those things. We know that, this thing that we're building, we want to pour more fuel into it and see how it grows, because we're in charge of, 300 young people that we're taking care of. That's 1,000 families. Every one young person that you take care of, you're taking care of 4 people in that family. So it's the eyes on the prize.
Absolutely. And I think that's key. Because most of the time, we were just talking about it.
I can. She's the real deal, man.
Because young people today want to feel accepted.
Yeah.
Based on the what do you call it? The labels that they wear.
Yeah.
So I think when you have somebody that really appreciates the fact that we can do without, even though we've got the means to do it. That's powerful.
That's powerful.
And so that 8 years, 9 years, please.
My cows did the right things.
No, that's proper. So and for me, you spoke about the eyes on the prize, right? So where do you see Lion Tutoring in the next year? Where do you see it?
Lion Tutoring, man. I never want to limit this beast, because it's really surprised us. Last year we only had our app, which is like Uber for tutors, on the Android store. It took us less than a year to develop the Apple Store, and it's a different code. It's a different animal. The user experience, the user interface is on another level.
Correct.
So right now, both Android and Apple users are able to download the app. They're able to go frictionless, go onto it picks your neighborhood. You tell it the subjects that you want for your child. Then it can suggest for you tutors around, looking at their availability in real time.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of data-driven AI behind the whole thing, and it gives the customer such seamless experience, So right now we're in Botswana and South Africa, but we also have students in Brazil and Italy who are doing online tutoring. Yeah.
That's proper,
So
man. That's
now
proper.
we just want to see how much we can, put into our online tutoring platforms. There are opportunities in China. There are opportunities also in our continent, we also had the governor of the Bahamas. She came to our office, in Botswana, and she was like, we want this thing in the Bahamas, So because they know that in terms of the SDGs, we are solving unemployment, we are
Correct.
solving quality education, accessible for everyone. They are solving youth unemployment and women unemployment, because we hire 75% women and black women. So
Correct.
there's a lot of benefits that come to the community at large, and obviously profits for us and our investors.
Absolutely. And for me, most people want to run a business. They have no appreciation of what it takes, right?
Yeah.
So for you, what would you say are the challenges and the highlights maybe of being in the business?
Oh man, business is a challenge itself. Business is a challenge itself, because sometimes challenges come that you've never anticipated.
Correct.
Just 1 minute you are just fine, everything is running good. Then the taxman starts to knock. What's happening? Hey, Monakana, you are not charging VAT. Like, no, but I'm an education company. No, you are not a school, so you have to charge VAT. You charge VAT. Hey, Monakana, your VAT is not well, So there's so many things that as we are flying, we are learning how to fly into other altitudes, we are starting to break, we are starting not to be friends with schools because we are taking business away from them. And it's actually a good alternative, Why should my child be in a school with 30 or 40 other kids, and I know that they are having dyslexia or epilepsy and they won't be able to listen in class, and yet I can have a homeschooling setup at my house,
Correct.
Already the schools are going to be like, no, we're taking business away from them, etc., etc. So some of the challenges we learn how to solve as we go. The biggest challenge we've had is obviously capitalization. We've just bootstrapped, everything. We maxed out credit cards. My wife, I've maxed out her credit cards. I've put her back. She's had enough.
Yeah.
So just that whole process of capitalization, but we make it work. We don't let it to bring us down. The fact that there are no people willing to invest is not the end of the world. We are going to invest our sweat into this thing, and we're going to take it to the next level.
Powerful, man. Powerful. But I think, where do people find Lion Tutoring if they want to do business with you? Where do they find it?
Okay, I'll just share our WhatsApp number is 0737 759305. That's 0737 759305. And our website, once you go to www.liontutorinternational.com, there are two tabs. There's get a tutor and become a tutor.
Oh.
So if you want to be a tutor, you go there. You are able to complete your application online, and the HR office will call you back for an interview, and then we do the vetting. And man, we check these tutors' criminal records, if they haven't forged their certificates. South Africa here.
Enhanced due diligence.
Serious due diligence, because we are sending the tutor to your house.
Correct.
So the due diligence process has to be on point. And then there's a site for Get a Tutor. Our app is also on the Android store and on the Apple store. So you can either do that, and all social media platforms at Lion Tutoring. We are doing dance challenges with the kids on TikTok. Then we have also some tutorials, like 2-minute, 3-minute tutorials, just to show you how it works on YouTube, etc.
Awesome. No, thank you so much. And until the G class comes, right?
I'm gonna tell you once I have it. I'll be, hey man, I got it.
Come and give me a ride on the G class. But I think thank you ever so much for making time. Always a great pleasure to have young people that are doing so well for the country, for the continent, and for the world, because now this is an international goal that you're driving, and we are inspired. But thank you so much for making time. Loved it. Let's wait for the G class, baby.
Yeah. Thank you, bro.
Sure.
This is Bogart Man Radio.